I love watching entrepreneurs here in the U.S. succeed in their businesses as they, and I see it all the time as they start hiring people overseas to help them in their business. And so these two goals, helping entrepreneurs succeed and helping 1 million people get jobs, really coincide really well with each other. And so I would hope that by the end of today, you will know enough to be able to succeed by hiring other people to do your work for you. Okay, here's a little bit about me. Just so you guys know, you don't have to be making 7 figures to make this outsourcing thing work. I didn't have anybody give me an introduction or anything today, so I'm going to do a little bragging myself here right now. This is me before I started outsourcing a couple years ago. You can see the antenna on the top of my house, the 92 Toyota Tercel. I didn't have much. I didn't really know a lot. You don't have to be an expert in order to make outsourcing work for you. Today, life is very different for me. I run a couple different businesses, a couple 6-figure-a-year businesses, a 7-figure-a-year business, and you know, I'm doing pretty well. This is me and my family on the beach in Costa Rica, where we spent a month because we could, because I have other people doing my work for me. These are a couple other pictures of just some places I've traveled with my wife and my kids: New York, Philippines, London, Thailand. There's the beach in California with my beautiful daughter. So I don't show you this so you think, well, that's really cool to travel. I want you to know that that slide at the beginning that I showed you, which is, you know, living the 17-hour work week through outsourcing, is real. I live this. This is what I do. So this is real. This is me. This is the golf course that I play every day. And you know, there's my son with me who he likes to play a lot with me. And I don't play every day. I don't play on Saturdays because I don't like the crowds, and I don't play on Sundays for religious reasons. So one of the problems with doing business on the internet is it's a technical business. And you know, you look at this and you see, you know, MySQL and Ajax and iframes and CSS and all these things, and this is scary. And I know it's scary because I graduated from college in computer science, and when I look at all these things and think about the things that I have to do in my business, it scares me. And I graduated in computer science from college. And so what my goal is today is to let you guys show you how you can accomplish all of these things, where these things don't have to scare you, where they don't have to be difficult for you, by having other people do the work for you, where it should really just come down to you communicating with someone else who knows how to do these things and can do it very, very well and very cheaply, where all you have to do is just tell them what you want. And so I want you guys to know that this is doable, that this is reasonable, it's pretty easy to do. It works, and other people like you are doing it. So I'm going to show you a couple things really quickly. I'm going to show you these two short videos of kind of what other people have said. So listen to this. Okay, and I want you to know how reasonable this is. So let me play this for you guys, and I want to make sure that you can.
Hey, John and the Replace Myself team. Lisa Schwartz here with Online Media Magic. Just got through with a SEO customer of mine. I do some SEO consulting work for them. And I had my video camera with me, and I remember that you were asking how the outsourcing was going with my guys in the Philippines. And I wanted to share a little bit about that. What I do is I bring my video camera here. One of the SEO elements that I use is video to get backlinks to the site, to bring some high authority page rank to websites. And for my customer today, I took a little bit of raw footage. I like the reality style videos, and then I send that raw footage to my VAs in the Philippines. They take that footage, they insert some images from the customer's website, including some stock photos and other information, and then they distribute that video, which is finished, to all the video distribution sites, getting some really nice backlinks to the site. And of course we do a few other things for them as well. So I just wanted to let you know that things were going great. This is one way that the outsources help us, among many ways, for our SEO consulting business here at Online Media Magic. And our customer today just signed up for a 90-day search engine optimization plan, so I collected a $5,000 check. So
Okay, so I show you that so that you guys know that you can do this. What I'm about to show you, you can do this. You don't have to be you don't have to be crazy good. This is easy, it's doable, and it works. And it works. So really quickly, I get this email from Matt one day, and I opened it up, and Matt couldn't even put on a normal shirt to send me this video. And I've talked with Matt, and he's a smart dude, but Real quickly, I want to show you what Matt says about this.
This is Matt Lewis in Dallas, and John Jonas. I just wanted to thank you for the great information you put out on the calls on how to replace yourself. It wasn't until I was exposed to your knowledge of outsourcing, and especially finding people in the Philippines. I'd never even heard of that before. I've actually even been to the Philippines before, and I never actually even thought that that was possible. But since getting the information from you, I've hired a Filipino probably almost a year ago or so. It's been a little while. He's worked out great, and he does so much for me that I used to have to do myself, and consequently a lot of it didn't get done in a timely manner because I didn't want to do it. Things like article marketing, submitting manual submissions to article directories, he does that. Bookmarking, he does that too. If I need a blog to be built, he will install the WordPress blog, he'll configure it, he'll customize the template, he'll do whatever basically I tell him to do. It's just been a really, really positive experience.
Okay, so I've shown you that you don't have to be an expert to do this. It works. You guys can do this. It's easy. Now let me show you how to do it. So typically when I talk about outsourcing, I found that there are 3 problems, and the second problem that people have is knowing where and how and specifics of hiring someone, and we're going to cover that today. The third problem is knowing how to keep them busy, how to train them, what to have them do for you, and we're going to cover that today. The number one problem that I find that people have is a problem that most people don't know that they have, and it's a problem that I had, which is knowing what's possible with outsourcing, because traditional outsourcing has all these problems associated with it, headaches and communication problems and poor work and late deliverables, and it can be very, very different than that, and that's what I'm going to show you today is how to make it very different than that. But you can't do that unless you know what's possible with it. And once you know what's possible, it's a completely different experience. So let me spend a couple minutes, and some of you guys are going to think, well, this isn't relevant, but it's really important that you know what's possible with outsourcing. I'm going to spend a couple minutes and talk about what you guys can get done. So, quick story. A little over 3 years ago, my wife was 7 months pregnant with this little girl, our 3rd child. We had these other 2 kids at the time, and we went into the doctor's office, and he had run some tests, and he comes in and says to my wife, you have preeclampsia, and if you don't go on strict bed rest for the next 3 to 5 weeks, you're going to go into seizures and die, and you're going to lose this baby. Now, at the time, I was running my own business, and I was working full-time in my business, and that was a complete shock to me. And I just remember thinking, what am I going to do? Well, how am I going to deal with this? Because I'm not about to lose a baby over money. So on the way home, I'm thinking about this, and I get home, and I sent an email to 2 of my guys in the Philippines and said to them, guys, your job now has to change. It has to change. Here's my situation. I can't work. I need you to do everything that I'm currently doing in my business, like take care of my AdWords account and take care of my websites and my blog and customer support and our software and bugs and our forums and comments and all the marketing we're doing and articles and videos and all the things that I was currently dealing with in our business. I told them I needed them to take care of. For the next 3 weeks after this, I literally worked 1 hour. And 3 weeks later, my wife had the baby. And for the next 2 months, I worked 1 hour a week because I had replaced myself in my business with these other people. And it was such an amazing experience. I never knew how good these people were. It was something I completely learned during this time because before this, I had been totally underutilizing them. I had no idea how good they were and what they could do for me. So that was a really big learning thing from this. Another thing that I learned was this is how you live the lifestyle. This is how you live the lifestyle. The reason that I got into the internet business in the first place was not so that I could build myself a big job, but so that I could work less and make money while other people did my work for me. And now I knew this is how you do this. I never knew that before. And so just so you guys are aware of kind of what happened here, these were not new people that were doing this for me. I had these guys working for me for about 18 months. And so I had trained them. I'm not going to give you guys any BS today. I'm not going to feed you any crap. I want you guys to know everything, the truth about all of this. These guys were not new. I hadn't pulled them off the street and all of a sudden they're running my business for me. We made about $800,000 during those 3 months. And that's not because they were running my business for me. I had set the business up to go pretty well, and it was going to make money regardless. But the point is that my business didn't fall apart when I wasn't there, because there were other people there doing the work. And so, these also, they weren't Harvard MBAs. These guys were making about $250 per month for full-time work. That's $250 US for full-time work per month. And I realized it's a business expense, so it's totally tax deductible. I'm not paying insurance. I'm not paying their taxes. I don't have an office, so I don't pay utilities or anything like that. After tax savings, this $250 is really like $180 a month for full-time work that I'm paying. And these guys are running my business for me. And so outsourcing it's not about Dell. This is not about business process outsourcing. It's not about, sending an entire division of the company overseas and costing thousands of American jobs. This is about you hiring an individual person to do your work for you, the work that you are currently doing, so that you can work less. So here's the general idea of how you're going to do this. You're going to hire a single person. You're going to hire them full-time, and you're going to teach them everything you know about your business, so that over time they can start running your business for you. It's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to hire some miracle person right now. You can step away completely from your business without having to teach them stuff, because you're going to have to train them. But as you hire a single person and you teach them everything you know about your business, they'll do amazing things for you. So it came time for me to go back to work at some point after. I'd spent the 3 weeks before my wife had the baby and 2 months after my wife had the baby, and there's only so much nothing. There's only so much nothing you can do before you have to go back to work. You get bored. And so it came time for me to go back to work. And so I'm going to tell you about the business that I started that was based strictly around the idea of having my guys in the Philippines do the work for me, do all of the work. Before I tell you that, let me tell you a couple more things about what this is not. This is not about elance. And this is really important. I'm not talking about hiring a contract worker here, a freelancer who's going to do a project for you and then you're done with them. The problem with that is it's not automation. Once you hire that person, you have to go through this whole huge process to hire this person and then manage the process and make sure that they get the work done exactly perfectly. Otherwise, if you pay them, you're screwed if the work's not done right. The problem is that once you're done with that person, you never benefit from their knowledge again. You also never benefit from any effort you put in to the relationship with that person. It's gone permanently, and the next time you want to get something done, you have to go out and find another person to do it. And it's really not a good way to run a business. Also, just so you know, when I say elance, I mean any one of the sites where you can hire a freelancer, like rentacoder.com or getafreelancer.com or scriptlance or guru.com or even odesk.com. This is not about hiring a contract worker. Second, this is not about India. And let me preface this by saying I have a lot of Indian friends, and I like India. I have no problem with India, the country or the culture or food or Bollywood or the music and dance. It's great. Outsourcing to India is really difficult. In India, they just think differently than we do. And so if you've tried this before, give it another shot with what I'm about to tell you. When I got started doing this, I was talking with the owner of backcountry.com, and he was saying, we were doing some similar things, and he said to me, John, when you're ready to start outsourcing, make sure you go to the Philippines with it. And I said, okay, why? He said, because in India, when you tell them something and they say yes, that means, yes, I heard something come out of your mouth. It doesn't mean, yes, I understood what you said. And so, they mean well. It's just really difficult, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, so before I talk about how you find people and stuff, let's talk about the business that I started when it was time for me to start working again because I had to have something to do. When I say implement everything, I mean you should be implementing everything you know, and this is what I was going to do with this business. I was going to be the CEO of the business. So here's, everything that you know, all the ebooks you've bought, the DVD courses, the membership sites you've bought, the seminars you've attended, you should be implementing all these things. You just shouldn't be the one doing the work. Because if you're the one doing the work, you're the grunt worker. Here's my business. I was going to write reviews about products and attach affiliate links to those reviews, and then we drive traffic to the reviews. And if someone reads our review, they like it, they click our affiliate link, they go to the product, they buy it, and we get paid because it's been tracked back to us, so we get a portion of it. So pretty simple business. So here's what I did. I found a domain and I bought the domain, and then I recorded myself talking for 35 minutes about the business, about what the goals of the business and the direction and why we're doing it and how we're going to accomplish the goals and the steps that we need to take to get it there, and step 1, step 2, step 3, and the first thing to do before we get started. And I talked my way through the whole thing, and then I sent it to one of my guys in the Philippines. I sent the domain and I sent the audio, and here's what he did. He takes the domain and sets it up on my hosting account, and he sets up WordPress on the domain, and he starts changing the theme as I have described, as I've told him in the audio. And he gets it done, and he sent it back to me, and I looked at it, and it wasn't all that great. I mean, he had done a lot of stuff, but there was still a lot of things that was like, okay, I sent him some feedback and said, I like this and I like that, but I don't like this, and move this over here, and change this, and I sent it back to him. And he changes it all and gets it really close, and so I had to give him one more thing of feedback and said, I like this, but I'd like this changed and move this here. And then he gets it done. And so the point in this isn't that I didn't do anything. The point is that, the point isn't that he did everything perfectly the first time. The point is that I didn't do the work, and the work got done. And I'm being the CEO of my business where I can concentrate on the most important things. And he's doing the work for it. So after he sets this up, he goes and starts writing the reviews. And the first review he wrote, frankly, wasn't all that good. And so I hadn't given him very much direction, so I had to give him some pretty good direction on how to write reviews and where to gather the data and how we wanted to do this. And he gets it right, and it's done correctly. And again, the point isn't that I didn't do anything. The point is that I didn't do the work. He did the work. After this, he goes out and starts marketing it. He starts doing SEO and link building and article marketing and video marketing and RSS feeds and Craigslist and directory submissions and social networking and social bookmarking and Facebook and Squidoo and MySpace and all these things that you hear about but there's not enough time in the day to do. I was now doing, because there were two of me, except I wasn't the one doing the work. It was someone else doing the work, but it was all getting done in this business. So that business in the first month made me about $200. Within 3 months, it's making me about $1,000 a month. Within 6 months, it's making $3,000 to $5,000 a month. And within a year, it's making $10,000 to $15,000 a month. And I didn't do any of it. I didn't do anything for it. So when I say be the CEO of your business, you still need to be involved. Oftentimes as I've talked about this with people want to think that they don't have to do anything ever again. They just hire someone and that person's going to do everything for them. And that's not the case. You need to be involved. You just shouldn't be the one doing the work. So now that we've talked about that, let's start talking about the Philippines. When I say the Philippines, I mean, don't go to anywhere else in the world to do this outsourcing. I know some of you guys are thinking, oh, great, I got a contact in Vietnam. I'll go there. No. Go to the Philippines. There's a specific set of cultural differences that exist in the Philippines that doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. Before I show you those cultural differences, let me show you this. This is a picture of 6 of the 10 people that I have working for me. They all work full-time for me, and these people all make between $200 and $700 per month for full-time work. So I'll show you this picture for 2 reasons. First, I want you to know a little bit of what you can get done. So the first guy here, this guy up here, is a very good technical person. He can do programming, he can do PHP and MySQL, he can manage servers, he can do anything technical that I want done. I just send him an email and say, hey, do this. And it gets done. He makes about $700 a month. The next guy, this guy right here, is also a very good programmer. He's also a good graphic designer. So anything design work that I want done, graphics or whatever, he can do it for me. And I just have to send